Hey there guys, welcome back to Cop Talks and another video. So today's video is going to be about Tinder. No, not the app, the fire starting material. So here I got 4 different Tinders, all kind of roughly similar but different in their own rights. On the left here, we have just a pure cotton ball. No frill, no fluff, well, all fluff, cotton ball. And here we have the cotton ball and petroleum jelly combo. This has been used for years. It's been taught in SEER schools and other survival schools. It's cheap, you can make it at home, and it's, pretty much tried and true. Right here we kind of have my own little invention. This is a cotton ball that's been soaked with canning wax. It's basically paraffin wax, and I generally just stuff cotton balls down to a silicone ice cube tray, pour in the molten wax over, let it solidify, and then I have these. These also work fairly well as fuel tablets. They do burn for quite a long time because it acts basically as a giant candle wick. And then on the very right, we have some UST WetFire Tinder. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to see how easy it is to start each one with a ferro rod. And then if that doesn't work, we're going to use a lighter. And then we're going to test and see about how long each one burns. So it kind of gives you an idea of how long you kind of have to work to get a fire started and, its effectiveness. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me move these off to the side. Let's fluff it up a little bit, shall we? You get it nice and fluffy, it tends to catch that spark a little better and get it rocking and rolling. There it goes. Now the fireball does spark up the easiest. It definitely gets lit the fastest, but it also burns the fastest. So you don't really have a whole lot of time to work with it. Now I'm going to let it go until it completely does not have any life left in it. So about 45 seconds for a regular cotton ball. Next up is cotton ball and petroleum jelly. Like I said, this is kind of a homebrew option here. This is something that a lot of people can do. You can buy petroleum jelly for about $1 and you can make hundreds of these. I mean, it's some very cheap, very effective fire tinder. So let's go ahead and fluff this one up. One thing to note though is that after kind of messing with this, you are going to have some slippery fingers, so maybe that's not the best option in some circumstances, but it's just something you should keep in mind. Another good thing about cotton balls and petroleum jelly is they do tend to stay dry. So even if a little bit of water gets on them, the petroleum jelly is going to keep some part of it dry, which will allow it to catch. Now this one does burn a little bit hotter. Now this flame is probably about 6 inches tall. This is one cotton ball soaked with Vaseline. So it's already burning much longer than the regular cotton ball. We're already up to about 55 seconds. It is producing a lot more smoke, but not too much. Still a pretty consistent 6-inch flame going in on a minute 25. Down to about a 4-inch flame at a minute 42. Still a pretty consistent 4-inch flame at 2 minutes 7. It's actually starting to char the bamboo cutting board here. And I can actually still see some white in the cotton ball right around here. Now, because this does contain petroleum jelly, I probably wouldn't recommend using nothing but cotton balls and petroleum jelly to heat up food or boil water or something like that, just because there are petroleum distillates in the petroleum jelly itself, which probably are not that good for you. Okay, probably down to about a 2 or 3 inch flame here at 3 minutes. At about a 1-inch flame at 3 minutes 22 seconds. Or about a half-inch flame off of the material at 4 minutes 5 seconds. Doesn't look like there's too much life left in this one. There's still a little bit of petroleum jelly. That's the only thing that's left burning right now. Is there's no actual physical material. It's just, petroleum jelly that's soaked into the wood there. But it actually has caught the cutting board on fire. So, very effective tinder. I'm gonna wait till all the embers are out before I call it. 5 minutes, 34 seconds total burn time. Next up, we have my own little contraption here. The trick with these is you want to kind of get it pried up a little bit. So there's a little bit of fluff to catch that spark. But once you got that, it takes pretty well generally. Most of the time I use this with a lighter. I mean, that's really what most people are going to be using anyway, is a lighter. There it goes. Now, I have also made these with citronella wax. I've made them with beeswax. I've made them with just regular candle wax. But I like to use the paraffin wax because it's food grade. So I know that if it does burn, you know, it's safe to have around food and stuff like that. It's a more natural product, whatever you want to call it. The beeswax, the same way. The candle wax, I don't really like to use anything that has fragrances or anything like that. It's just, I don't want that in my food. But the citronella wax, that does come in handy. You can actually light some of these and place them around on stones and things like that, because they will burn for several minutes. And it kind of helps if you're in a, you know, high mosquito density area. So right now, minute 20 in, we're getting a pretty consistent 4-inch flame off of this cotton ball. A little bit of smoke, not a whole lot. It's actually producing quite a bit of light. Like I said before, the actual cotton itself is not burning. What it's doing is the flame is living on the cotton and feeding off the wax as it melts. So the hotter this thing gets, the more wax melts. The more wax melts, the bigger the flame, essentially. So like I said, you can make these at home. I use a silicone ice cube tray, kind of similar to this one. This one's round ones, but you can use just about any shape. You can stuff cotton balls in there, pour the wax over, and then let it solidify. And then you basically have a ton of little fire starters. Or even fuel tablets. Depending on, this one's just a single cotton ball, but you can also make it more dense by shoving, you know, 2-3 cotton balls, because cotton balls, they do compress pretty well. So you could shove quite a bit in there, fill it full of wax, and the denser it is, you know, the longer it will burn. So we still have a pretty consistent 4 to 5 inch flame at 3 minutes 40. Still a pretty good 4 to 5 inch flame here at the 5-minute mark. Now I have made these in different sizes, like I said. This is a 4x4 cube. Well, not so much a cube, but a 4x4 block, meaning 4 cotton balls basically stacked on top of each other. This is probably about 12 or 16 cotton balls compressed into this cube, and this will burn for quite a while. Same concept here. This is a larger version, and this will burn for quite some time. This will allow you to start just about any fire or even cook just straight off of this, because it will be a flame this size. So these are pretty handy, cheap, effective, and they last for quite some time. And, you know, no shelf life. They will last forever. Pretty consistent 3 to 4 inch flame at the 6-minute 35-second mark. Probably down to about a 3-inch flame here at the 7-minute 44-second mark. Down to about a 1-inch flame here at the 9-minute mark. Fun fact, here's one I used the other day, and you can extinguish these and actually use them again. So that's also a nice feature for these. If you're just using it to carry the flame to something, light that, and then put this out, you can always reuse it again. Okay, we're down to about a 1/2 to 1-inch flame right now at the 9-minute 50-second mark. Right now it's kind of burning at a blue flame. Okay, here at the 11-minute mark, we still have a small halo of fire around it. I'm going to move it to make sure it's the actual tinder burning and not the cutting board. So, yep, there's the tinder. It's still got a little bit of cotton down here at the bottom with a little bit of wax soaked in it, but yeah, just like I suspected, it's also the cutting board. Side note, also this cutting board was broken and it's been glued together, so I can no longer use it in the kitchen. Hence, it's a sacrifice here today. Oh, okay, we just lost active flame on the cotton ball. It's still got some glow to it, so there's still an ember inside. Still a little bit of ember going. 13 minutes, 8 seconds is how long this particular cotton ball wax mixture burned. That's a pretty good long time to get a fire going. I mean, that's even enough time for you to go collect some more firewood to get it on top and not really have to pay attention to it. These also burn fairly well. Once you get them really going in windy conditions, it's pretty hard to put them out. Also, even if it's raining, I've used these in the rain and they still continue to burn even if raindrops hit it. And that's pretty nice. So next up, we're going to try a commercial option, and that's going to be the WetFire Tinder. So it's worth noting I've never actually used WetFire Tinder before. I just recently bought it for a project. Oh wow, that board is cracking. Let's see if we can get it started here. Well, looks like we're gonna have to use a lighter on this one. It's just not going up with the ferro rod. But it lights up just fine. Pretty smoky, pretty bright, that's for sure. Try not to get it too much soot on my camera here. Pretty good 4 to 5 inch flame. Hopping up to about 6 inches here at the 1 minute 30 second mark. It's definitely turning black, burning fairly quickly, it appears to be. I wouldn't be surprised if this only lasts about 4 minutes or so. Alright, coming up here on the 4 minute mark. Looks like I was a little bit wrong. I was close. It's a very low flame at this point, about half to 1 inch flame. And that's at the 4 minute 8 second mark. 5 minutes 2 seconds is when this thing finally flamed out. Not too bad, but I gotta say it was a lot more difficult to get started without a lighter than any of the other options. I think I'm gonna be sticking to my homebrew options of the petroleum jelly and cotton balls, and canning wax and cotton balls. I can get those started with a ferro rod, flint and steel, lighter, whatever, and I think I'd rather go with that. Anyway guys, really appreciate you watching this video. Surprise, I'm actually going to be doing a giveaway now. So I'm going to be putting together a tin, kind of like my Pocket Survival tin, but it's going to be a Tinder tin, right? So if you want to enter to win that, I want you to go ahead, leave a comment down below, but somewhere in that comment, say, find me on Tinder or something, right? Say, find me on Tinder, and I'll enter you into the giveaway. Let people guess what you're saying down there. I think that'd be pretty funny. And then whoever, I'll do a random drawing. I'll do it live again like I did last time, and I'll get it sent out to somebody. I'll probably throw a ferro rod and a scraper in there, and probably 2 different kinds of tinder, and you'll have yourself a good little fire kit. Anyway, guys, really appreciate you watching today. Thanks so much for the support. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. And, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. Stay warm. Learn how to make a fire. And I'll catch you in the next one.